This week on Amazingly Terrible, we're listening to The Littles, episode 18, Twins.
You can't stop the Littles.
You can't stop the Littles because the Littles don't stop. You're listening to Amazingly Terrible,
the podcast that won't stop hassling you to listen to it on CD.
My name's Adam.
My name's Matt.
My name's David.
Oh.
Now you have to kiss.
Now you merge. It's a fusion dance.
Yeah. This is the thing. This is my worst nightmare. I have never been more afraid than watching this show.
Oh, yeah.
It triggered some deep phobia of mine that I didn't know I had.
Yeah. And as a kid, I loved the borrowers. I loved the idea that there were tiny little people living somewhere. I don't know if I found it really endearing. And then now,
these assholes.
Well, yes, there's that. But also, as an adult, I'd be like, oh, God, they watch me.
Yeah, what have they seen?
they see what I do.
And
yeah. Also, those fuckers are living rent-free in my walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck them.
Probably eating your food, stealing your camera, siphoning off your gasoline to make their own cars. I mean, come on.
Ooh, foreshadowing. I like it.
So I had a lot of empathy for whatever the Dr. Hawk or Dr. Evil or whatever his name is. I'm like, get fucking your city's infested with this shit.
Yeah.
They're living off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ugh.
Gotta get in there.
I like a show, though, that tells you the entire story in the opening
song.
Opening song. Because you're like, oh, good, I just picked this up, and now I pretty much know what's going on. Let's jump right in.
Yeah. That's very early 80s.
So I have seen Andor. I've been watching that. It's actually good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
nice.
it is actually good, and you get to see more than space wizards, you know?
Oh, cool.
That's cool. I'll have to try it out. I'll put it on my long list of things to catch up on.
Nah, don't fucking bother, man. Who cares? It's another fucking TV show. Who gives a shit? You know?
I've got so much spare time and so much worthless media to fill it up with. I just don't even know what to do anymore. I had an existential crisis the other day.
That's the second one you've had on this podcast.
Yeah.
I know.
On today's podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were really deep earlier.
Do you think they're coming faster now?
Coming or going?
Are you having existential crises?
Say that 3 times fast.
Exponential existential crisis.
Exponential.
I do have a predictive phrase for this episode.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So good luck to you.
Okay. Thank you.
May the dick jokes be ever in your favor.
The Littles was produced between 1983 and 1985. They aired 29 episodes over the course of 3 seasons. And the cartoon is actually adapted from a children's novel, or a series of children's novels, I should say, rather, written by John Peterson, who's an American author. Mm-hmm. And he started writing those in 1967. I don't know much about it. I don't think I ever read the books when I was a kid. It was never really, a thing. I have vague memories of this cartoon, but not really anything solid.
Yeah, me too.
I remember it. I remember watching an episode or two, but it's one of those faint, hazy memories of yesteryear in which I can't recall anything other than the premise because I liked it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So The Borrowers was written by Mary Norton in 1952.
Okay.
And I have to feel like this is a direct ripoff of The Borrowers.
I would have to agree with you. 1952, this is 15 years later? Yeah.
What?
I gotta say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, the iron's hot. The iron's hot, throw some little people on it.
But, this was the 1960s. He very well could have been like, nobody's gonna remember shit from 15 years ago. I'm just gonna write up my own thing with this.
It's enough time to get the next generation of kids in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Stuart Little was in 1945.
But wait, were there little people in it? I was just
It's little mice people.
Yeah, they're...
Yeah, I thought he was just a mouse, though. I thought it was like a human family that gave birth to a mouse.
No, he got shrunk. He got turned into a mouse by a witch or something.
No, that's witches.
What the hell are you talking about?
That is witches with whoever, the woman that played Morticia Addams in the 1990s Addams Family.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't they do another one with
Anne Hathaway recently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it had Timothy Curry.
Yeah. So The Littles was produced by ABC by the French-American studio Deke Audiovisuel.
Oh boy.
The Littles, Inspector Gadget, and Heathcliff, and the Cadillac Cats were the first shows made by Deke Entertainment for American audiences.
And what's the name of the Littles in French?
I honestly, I don't think it actually was released in France.
Les
Petites.
Royales with cheese.
It's Les Minipus.
Minipus.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah.
Minipus.
La Minipus. Yep.
Or Les Lillipus.
Yep. La Minipus. That's my little Minipus.
I kind of like it when Derek does the summaries because we really do stay on track and get through the episode summary before we start tangenting.
You piece of shit.
But where's all the humor, though?
Yeah.
Where's the fun?
Where's the love?
Where's the 3 hours of shit we gotta
you know
cut
what?
out?
He's like an AI reader. We're like artists.
True artists.
We are making artisms.
Artisanals.
Artisanal podcast. Ooh, that's what we should call it. Artisanal podcast.
I leave my little artisanal droppings around.
Oh yeah, with little like veins of blue cheese, like whatever, just going through us. Like
look at the thick marining on this.
So much marinade.
Excellent.
It's really it's veined with marin and marbled.
Marbled.
No. You need to save the rind. We'll make an additional podcast.
Oh, don't cut off the marin. That's the best bit.
Yes. And then
it crackles when you cook it.
And then you drop a little bit into your kombucha, Scooby, and then it makes like a marin Scooby.
Okay, Mike, you took it too far.
I don't even know what a Scooby is.
You took it too far.
I think it's a SCOBY, but it's a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It is what makes kombucha.
Okay.
Too far.
Man.
So wait, it's a gross thing that makes another gross thing?
Yeah, but isn't everything like gross, man?
Yeah. Wait, you are having existential crisis.
Like everything is gross. Like just breathing is gross.
Yeah, you're at SART now. This is the level that you're at.
Nice.
Everything just smells like someone else's exhaled breath.
It probably is. Honestly, you know what the real thing is? It probably is people. Mm-hmm. Everything you've ever eaten was once people.
Well, all of us and everything around us is just dead stardust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So therefore, everything is just people.
Everything you eat was at one time people and will be people in the future.
It's all people.
It's peoples all the way down.
All the way down.
Do you think that the Littles live off our skin?
Like skin flakes?
Yeah, they live off our skin flakes and hair.
They're not that small. You have to be like a mite.
Well, I mean, they gather it. Yeah.
They eat the mites that eat the hair and the skin.
Oh, they farm the mites, yes.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why they're friends with this little boy to, like, fucking harvest his cuticles.
Mm-hmm. And other stuff.
Okay, so to get this little teeth
it's richly marbled with smegma.
Smell.
So here's the thing that I did not that I found relatively interesting was that between the Littles, Inspector Gadget, and Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats, only the Littles made it to a studio network, whereas Inspector Gadget and the Cadillac Cat, or Inspector Gadget and Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats went directly into syndication when they got into the U.S.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. The Littles also had two movie tie-ins. Their first movie was in May 25th, 1985, called Here Come the Littles, which was the prequel to the TV series. And then in 1986, they had another movie come out called Liberty and the Littles, which I'm assuming is like an Atlas Shrugged sort of little...
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, is this movie about a bunch of little mouse people living in the Statue of Liberty?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't look into it, but I have to assume so. Or maybe little mice people traveling to the U.S. to see the Statue of Liberty.
That was Fievel Goes West.
No, that was just American Tail was the name of it. Fievel Goes West was the sequel where he goes to the western frontier.
You fucking piece of shit.
He just keeps on going further and further west.
I took my eyes off the ball for 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
Hey, you don't have to apologize to us. You have to make it up to David.
Apologize to the viewers.
You have to make it up to Fievel.
Fievel's quest.
Out there, beneath the pale moonlight.
It's weird. Isn't he singing to his sister? Like they have the connection?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Where it's clearly romantic.
I'm glad nothing like that happens in this cartoon.
Good point. All right, so for the Littles, the main crux of the show is that the Littles are a secretive race of tiny humans with tails that live in the in-between places in our homes and in our cities. They are secretive for some reason. In this show, our point-of-view character, Henry Big, befriends the Littles and does what he can to protect their secret for some reason.
Yeah.
The main villain is a character named Dr. Eric Hunter who theorizes that the Littles actually exist, but he's never seen one and he wants to prove it for some reason.
Why don't they just kill him?
That's it.
Yeah, I did not remember the show having an Achmonic villain.
Yeah, I don't remember, a villain at all.
Well, according to all of my sources, his main drive is not to exploit the Littles. It's not to do anything nefarious with them. It's just to prove that they exist.
Right.
What's his end game? After that, it's oh, yay, okay. You're not going to be famous, dude.
I think it's because he theorized that they existed and nobody paid attention to him.
They're not going to suck They're not going to suck his dick, man.
No, they would invent a wacky Rube Goldberg-esque mechanism
to
do so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, what he really wants for them is to crawl up and wiggle around inside his butthole.
Yeah, he's a Richard Gere type.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a real Greer head.
Yeah, you can tell because he's Buddhist. It even goes into it in this episode.
Do you guys remember Quantum Leap?
No.
There was an actual villain in that. There was an evil leaper, and nobody remembers that.
Mr. Quantum.
Yeah.
Dr. Quantum.
Quantum.
Mr. Quantum is the son.
His father.
Please call me Leap. Dr. Quantum was my father.
Wasn't the evil leaper the devil or something? Because it got pretty...
it got really weird towards the end, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it got very heavy on the religious tones. But yeah, no, the devil was in an episode, but the evil leaper, it's implied that they're running... if Sam Beckett is on the side of good and God, then the evil leaper's on the side of the devil.
Actually, I think I do remember that episode, though, because it took place in the future, which I think was 1999 or something like that.
Whoa.
Because they actually showed, not Ziggy, but the guy the hologram guy that shows up every now and again in his timeline, in the future, running around trying to track down the evil leaper.
You know,
vague memories of this.
This is all getting cut for Quantum.
Okay. So for the Littles, the opening theme song, Poppy, we already kind of mentioned it a little bit. It's catchy, poppy, very informative, and I hate it. I fucking hate it. It's stuck in my head. It's never going to be out of my head.
Yeah.
Miserable.
And it's the entire, it basically encapsulates the entire point of the show. And what happened. It gives the origin story. So.
Yeah. And we get introduced to the kid with wicked mutton chops.
Mutton chop.
Henry Biggs.
And it shows the Littles taking out a ceiling tile so they can watch him.
Yeah.
That's right. Watching him pack a suitcase.
They know what he does at night.
They show their whole city and culture inside his vents. Fucking chilling.
Yeah, I don't remember them having this huge society.
Yeah.
I only remember the main family.
I don't remember the animation being this bad.
Oh, it's so crummy. My well, we'll get there, but I have a real. I'm in love with this moment.
I have a moment too.
Yeah,
we'll share our moments.
Oh, okay. I always want to share a moment with you, Mike.
But yeah.
What? You made me so happy.
Blessing. So yeah, I don't remember a lot of things about this show. So good Lord, we're getting ourselves into a mess of an episode.
Okay, let's get past the theme song.
Okay,
yes,
so as David already pointed out, the most chilling theme, the most chilling line in the theme song is, "You can't stop the littles because the littles don't stop."
Yeah,
but never stop.
I had a question: is it you can't stop the littles because the littles don't stop, or you can't spot the littles because the littles don't stop?
Or is it you can't stomp the littles because that would be gross?
Swish.
Can you imagine how much would come out?
Very little. Yeah.
Yeah, it would all be very little.
Yeah, exactly.
Very little everywhere.
Very little.
See,
you think that like inside their desiccated husks, there's no fluid.
So I can actually go through this pretty quickly. The episode, they do kind of fit a lot of plot into it. It's a relatively long episode.
It felt long.
But when we open up, the biggest thing to take into account is right away we're given, okay, there's a press conference, which means the littles have press. They have cameras. They actually have like conventions or have gatherings set up in order to actually announce different things.
They have a news media and the means by which you distribute the news.
Exactly.
Can we cast the spotlight to exactly 1 minute in and ask ourselves, who was the animators?
Well, there's a list of them. We'll have to go more than 1 minute in, but there is a list of them.
Yeah,
yes, but just at the exact 1 minute mark, like the quality of animation with his derpy eyes.
Derpy guy with his tail hanging directly down between his legs.
Oh, he's amazing. The guy who's looking up and down at the same time, sort of.
Exactly.
But I caught
Mike,
that.
He had a stroke.
It looks like he's got a mouthful of
piece of
marbles or
shit.
something.
He
had a stroke.
That's just buccal fat. It's just buccal fat. He's young in face.
And we know that like the Little Society has hospitals, because they do talk about it here as well. And so they're able to keep a stroke victim alive beyond the actual incident of a stroke. So in all honesty, like, he's great. He's a functioning member of society.
Yeah.
He's probably got a whole rich backstory.
And this kid is like, I know, I'll get them a bed. It'll blow their little goddamn minds. Fucking imperialist piece of shit.
But anyway, so we know these things about the Littles just from this. So there's like tons of infrastructure. They're an organized society. They have everything set up very well. I actually, watching this, I realized they kept calling the guy Grandpa, but in my mind, he was the mayor. Just because he's dressed like a fucking 1830s mayor of a small town in New England. So
right, yeah. The main characters are dressed anachronistically in some different style. Everyone else is dressed like they just finished doing coke in the 80s.
Why does the guy look like a kid wearing a fake mustache? It just looks like that mustache was just pasted. It was just pasted on like with tape.
You're looking at the dad. That's
the
dad.
Yeah.
He just looks like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we open up on a big press announcement where Dinky has put together to showcase his new gas-powered car, but he gets cut off right when he's about to announce it because the first ever little twins have been born. It was the very first time Littles had ever had twins, so it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
so
can you imagine the state of their nutrition? It also, like, that they've never been able to have twins before.
Yeah, they're normally like litters of a dozen.
Yeah,
well,
so that's really what it is.
Yeah, they're like, this is the smallest
she had
litter.
so few kids.
Wow.
She only had twins.
Throughout this
bet
entire
half
episode,
of them won't die.
Throughout this entire episode, we're actually seeing only like 2 generations of Littles, basically.
Yeah.
That's just how many there are. It's like one family, 2 generations. That's it.
Incest abound. Yeah.
I mean, incest. I think most of them eat the other kids.
Probably.
That's how you get strong in Little's culture.
That's right. This is Littles. Take the guy into the well.
That's why everybody's so excited. They're like, "Oh, the betting pool for these kids is going to be really small."
I basically got a 50-50 shot. This is
yeah. I'm going to win this time.
All right.
Give me odds on Littly.
So Dinky gets upset by the fact that everybody runs off to go see the twins. So he tries to show off his new car by speeding around the twins' house in a very reckless fashion, just like hooting and hollering.
Okay, is it their house or is it a hospital? Because they're all standing outside the window like fucking creepazoids.
Well, they call it a house, so I think it's actually supposed to be their house.
Okay, home birth. Yeah, maybe they had a doula.
So So Dinky acts really recklessly. He gets scolded by Grandpa.
Spinning around, doing like donuts.
Mm-hmm. He loses control of the car. He falls out of the car. And then the car is like out of control, chasing down Lucy and Tom, the two main characters, which are like the kid Littles.
This is when I loved it, because this is when I fell in love with this show.
Because
I was like, oh, this feels like a throwaway scene, and then the music started, and they're running, and I'm like, oh my god, they're really going for this. They are going to stretch us out for a full fucking minute to the commercial break.
They pulled it off right to the friggin' cliffhanger commercial break.
They cut back and forth the same shots over and over and over again.
Oh god, this animation.
Just
it's the
milking
longest
this
fucking hallway ever.
Yeah.
Longest hallway. But
well, it's the in between spaces. It's the space in between the walls.
Yeah.
Which gets me to another point.
They're in this limbic otherness.
Dinky is trying to introduce petrol-powered vehicles in an enclosed space.
Oh, no, they're all going to die.
So he's essentially announcing the end of their society if anybody buys into his shenanigans.
He'll get monoxide poison everybody?
Yeah. Them and all the people that live in the house. Soon they're going to wind up trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So you're going to have like some city inspectors come in. The EPA is going to get involved, and then they're just going to be gassing Littles left and right everywhere they go.
Yeah. Do you think that like the Littles' nightmare is the house gets tented?
Yes,
that's like that's their house.
That's the nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is what I was also thinking about is this pre or post getting the lead out of gas as well. Because we're also talking about
that was the 70s.
Yeah, that was the 70s.
Was it?
Yeah, so
the 80s.
This is all the product of the people who were poisoned by leaded gas.
By lead gas,
yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, that's what everybody wants. Gas-powered cars. Perfect.
You know how we should solve this? A knife fight.
I do kind of like the design of the car, though, just because it's like a tin can with a fork on the front of it. With glasses as a windshield. Like that.
I actually think based on the design that it's like steam or pneumatic powered.
You would think that, but he does specifically say that it is gas powered.
Yes, but gas can mean a vapor.
Gas pneumatic.
Yeah. Anything can be a gas. This is where you flunked physics, you piece of shit.
But then the next time he drives it, it catches on fire like it's got petrol in it.
Adam, I take
like
it back. You failed physics for another reason.
Why?
Not this reason, a different reason.
Why? I want to know why.
It's a secret.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never be able to fix it.
Damn it. Okay.
You'll have to keep calling in and retaking that test.
So Tom and Lucy are getting mowed down by this car. Tom eventually manages to get around the car and jumps in the back of it, gets control, shuts it down, and saves his sister Lucy. And Lucy says, Tom, you're wonderful. And everybody's like, are you all right, Tom? And he's like, didn't you hear? I'm wonderful.
There was definite sexual undertones.
It just bugged me how close everyone was, considering how long that hallway was, that it was long enough they had to break for commercial. And then suddenly everyone's right behind him.
Well, the car's really slow. Did you see how long it took them? It took it to chase down two mouse people.
This is essentially the Austin Powers scene in the steamroller bit at the factory.
Yeah. I'll buy that. Okay.
Tom and Lucy tell Henry Big about the twins' birth, and Henry's like, you know what, I'm going to get them a present. So they go out shopping. He goes to a little toy store, and he finds a dollhouse crib, or a brass crib made for a dollhouse. And he asks the doll maker to make one a little bit smaller for him.
And the littles are in his
sister's
pocket.
Dollhouse. And yeah, the littles are in his pocket. I wanted to see one of the littles like on his head, controlling his movements, just like yanking on his hair.
Mm-hmm. They use his nipple to steer him.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a joystick.
Get out the credit card. Okay, slap it down.
Yeah.
So while he's at the toy shop, Dr. Hunter, I think is his name, Dr. Eric Hunter, overhears Henry talking about his sister's dollhouse, and that's when it comes to a head, and he's like, Henry Big doesn't have a sister. He's buying this for the littles.
So,
dun, dun, dun.
I assumed that Dr. Hunter was fucking casing this kid. Like, was following him around.
He's just following this kid around, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I get from it, too.
What a cool dude.
Yep.
A lot of great behavior overall in this show.
Dinky then plans that he's going to be doing a stunt show in front of the twins' house the next day in order to steal all the attention away from the twins.
Because he has the emotional maturity of an 8-year-old.
Exactly. But that's when he finds out that the brass bed is getting delivered that day, and he's frustrated yet again about not being in the limelight. So we then cut back to the toy store at night, where the doctor and his assistant are breaking in to slap a tracking device on the tiny bed, and they have a tiny-ass tracker the size of, like, a nickel.
Yeah.
And that you can just sort of slap on there, and you're right. In the 80s, it would have had to have had, like, a long antenna. Essentially, the entire bed would have had to have been made of a tracker, and then would have had to have been twice as big.
And it would have had to have been attached to a briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Power source, yeah, exactly. But maybe this is like the unspoken thing about Eric Hunter, Dr. Eric Hunter, is that he's never seen a little, but he has all of these different devices that were made by littles. So he has all this miniaturized technology that tiny hands had built and put together.
He claims he's never seen them, but he really has like a miniaturization sweatshop where his enslaved littles work to create him his groundbreaking miniaturization technology.
Maybe he was a little.
And it cut off his tail.
And he
lost
ate too
his
much.
tail and it grew big.
They figured out some kind of like a bigorization.
Well, that would require some sort of a rebigulator, which is a concept so ridiculous it makes me want to laugh out loud and short. But
No, he started eating human food, right?
No, he started eating human flesh.
Yes.
Oh.
Flesh. It's always the flesh.
Because they eat human food. And they eat strawberries in this. They eat human strawberries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human strawberries.
Are Henry's parents worried that Henry likes to eat a single strawberry on a plate alone in his room?
Yeah.
Well, his parents are usually absent because it turns out they're both archaeologists.
Yeah.
So they're always out in digs in various places.
Yeah.
So
You
they
know how
can't take care of
archaeologists they're workaholics. Those archaeologists.
Yeah, exactly.
This whole thing just screams like, what would every kid love their parents to be? It's like, archaeologists, of course.
Indiana Joneses.
Yeah, going around other cultures stealing all their shit.
Yep. That's what Mighty Max had. Do you think the dad, to your point, David, do you think the dad is like turns to the mom after he's gone to his room with a plate with a single strawberry and he's like, you know what he's doing at that, right?
No, I think he looks at the mom and is like, you know he gets this from you, right?
Yeah. You know what you're on.
You and your one strawberry and a huge bottle of wine.
I can't come unless there's fruit in my ass bullshit.
All right. So we cut to Henry's room, speaking of, and he's in his room talking to Tom, Lucy, and Grandpa about the bed. They're kind of fawning over the bed because they've already picked it up and it's in there. Yeah. It's like sitting in front of a vent or something. And this is when Henry gets interrupted by his mom, and everybody hides, including Grandpa, who dives into a single sock, that is sitting on Henry's desk.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, the mom doesn't notice this movement on the desk to see the little going in. Secondly, Grandpa's covered in cum now, right?
Yeah.
How old is the boy?
Shades of Bump in the Dark here.
There really are shades of Bump in the Dark here. Or Bump in the Night.
How old is the boy?
Old enough.
Old enough to grow some amazing mutton
Yeah.
chops.
Yeah,
No.
if there's grass on the playground, then it's ready to play, buddy.
Yeah, if there's grass on your chop.
Glass. There's glass in your shop.
If there's glass on the playground, you better get out there and play, kids.
Barefoot.
No, if there's grass on your chop, then you must quit.
But anyway, while this interruption is taking place, while the mom is distracting the kid by saying, I think that what the mom says exactly is, I have a lecture tonight, so why don't you go outside and play?
Yeah.
Which I'm not too sure what that's supposed to mean. Like, is she like, hey, I have a lecture tonight, now's the only time for me and your dad to bone down, so you gotta get out of the house so we got some private time.
No, she's saying go play in traffic.
She's saying that she has to write the lecture,
Okay.
and she can't afford any of his juvenile distractions.
I had to write this lecture, so you need to stop sitting in your room and talking to the single strawberry of sadness. So go outside and make some fucking friends for once. God
The
damn it.
SSFS?
Go touch grass.
Okay, so Dinky, during all this is going on, Dinky steals the brass bed through the vent by just sort of looping a rope around it and dragging it in. We then cut to a scene to outside the house where the doctor and his assistant are sitting in a van trying to see if the tracker's moved at all, and the tracker hasn't moved for some reason. And that's the
Because
point
it's
where I
still
was like,
in the house.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like, you can't really get that much movement off of that tracker. And the littles live inside the house. Are you expecting to track the movement from like one floor to the next?
Here's the thing. I don't think the littles live inside the house.
Well, we don't find that out till later. Yes, they have like a huge underground system connected through sewers.
Yeah, they have like
all this
an
other stuff,
disgusting.
so-
They're everywhere.
a total alternate culture that parodies the culture above.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
ahead,
feel
Dan.
like the main character family lives in that house, and then there's some sort of underground network that connects them to
Like other houses.
other
or-
houses. Yeah.
Yeah. A goddamn nightmare.
Yeah.
Got these little
Okay, so-
fucking pervozoids coming into my house at all hours. Fucking looking at me when I was just trying to,
Just crank one out real quick before bed. Yeah. Wow. So we cut now to the stunt show that Dinky's putting on with his car. And he drives recklessly again, acts like a jackass, winds up wrecking the car and pinning himself underneath the car at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
The car catches fire, and they're all like, it's about to explode. Everybody get back. And the children, Tim and Lucy, the two children, push all of the other full-sized adult littles back, saying, it's dangerous, get away. We'll take care of it with this doddering old man we call Grandpa.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a turtle.
That's when they put their rodent incisors to work chewing off his leg.
Yes.
That would have been good. I would have liked that. But instead, what they do is they shove the turtle underneath the car. The turtle's
Yeah,
like a slick.
instead
they just
they
shove
ab-
him underneath the car.
They abuse an animal.
Exactly. Not for the last time. They abuse the animal, an animal in the show. So
It's true though. You think that like the little boy lifts his head, his all his cheeks dark with the Dinky's blood, and he's Lucy. It'll be fine till we get to the bone.
yes, that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
I like that. God, we could have made this such a better show.
I know.
Why did they ask us to write it? We were only 3 and 4 at the time.
It would have been much better. The thing that gives it away, though, like none of the other littles have good character design. The other littles are clearly extras. They must look at that family and be like, "Well, those are the main characters." It's clear.
Look how nicely they're designed. I mean, they're not necessarily pretty or handsome, but they're fully fleshed out. Look at me. I don't even have
Yeah.
a smile line. I don't even have lips.
They actually forgot to draw in my eyebrows, so we're fucked.
Yes.
It's also like their clothes. Like the little girl has like a giant button, and they have some things that sort of hint that they are tiny, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else is just wearing like mass manufactured clothing.
Well, the boy, Tom, it looks like he's actually wearing like a belt buckle
Yeah,
on like at the front. So
yeah,
it still can't-
because they're tiny. But everybody else like goes to Miniature Gap
yeah.
and
it's
fucking gets their shit.
Well, in all fairness, Deke was wearing an aviator helmet that, like, is an actual aviator helmet. It's not, like, anything unusual. Also, by the way, Deke is actually an aviator. It doesn't go into it in this particular show, but he has an airplane.
Well, he's wearing an old aviator hat because all of those old hats have shrunk down to miniature size.
No. It's back in the day. That was the normal size of person.
Yeah, that was the size
That's
of people.
That's what people usually were. Yeah.
No, that's silly. That's incredibly silly. You know that during World War I, all of the aviators would also dress up their dick. And they'd have a little hat for it and a little coat and a little scarf.
A little mini helmet, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Totally makes sense. Fully functional, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason why every now and again in the series you'll see, or in this episode, you'll see Deke pull the hat out and like sniff it vigorously and then put it back on his head.
Oh, Jesus, it's terrible. It smells like a man who died in the 1920s. His
Actually,
cock.
What do you think the Littles were doing during World War II? Do you think they got involved?
See, I actually think that would be an amazing story.
Yeah.
Like, what do the borrowers do during a world war?
Yeah.
Probably stayed largely out of the way.
Like, whose side were they on?
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
Switzerland.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, nope, we're totally fighting for the Habsburgs.
Yeah. Yep.
Montagues.
Yeah. World War I, yeah, they probably would have been with the Germans. The Austro-Hungarians.
Okay, so new idea for a podcast. We rewrite the Littles for
Wartime.
One or World War II? You know what? Let's split the difference, make it the Korean War. We'll make it a mash.
Well, first of all, they would have made great spies, so that's interesting. There's an angle, you know.
Do you think the Littles leave pellets like mice?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you think that this is like a Versailles situation?
Well,
where there's
do
no
they eat
toilets
meat? Because
in Little Land, like they just shit where they stand, basically.
Based on how organized their
Like
culture
rats.
is, they probably have like super strict fecal control protocols that they all have to follow.
Well, they probably use it for fertilizer to grow like a fungus that they then use for sustenance, or no, they use it to grow a fungus that they then use as a hallucinogenic property to cover themselves with, so that whenever they do come in contact with humans, the humans forget or think they're hallucinating.
I mean, what are you talking about? Their entire culture is a kleptocracy. Like everything they have, they've stolen from us.
Exactly.
They don't produce anything of their own. They steal our straws. They steal our tiny turtles. They steal our cans. They stole a
beds.
They stole a minuscule amount of gasoline. I hate them.
And they stole our hearts.
I think their poops would be like human poops, but real smaller. So they would like
giant. It's actually the size of them.
Yeah.
They poop once a year, and when they do,
better stand back.
I think they just store their poop inside them. They used to be much smaller.
Or they just have like a super efficient processing system that there is no waste associated with their dietary activities.
Well, I mean, so now we're talking about the biology of being small, right? So small mammals tend to eat a lot and poop a lot because their whole metabolism is, supercharged in order to have enough energy to exist at that size. So their pumps
Professor Matt.
They're Hey, I didn't fail biology for no reason.
Yeah, you didn't fail physics either, damn it.
I
know. I wonder why.
I know why I failed biology.
Yeah. You failed for a reason.
Yeah.
You know why. You just won't tell us.
I wouldn't name the parts of a cell. Fuck you, mitochondria.
The powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah. Look at powerhouse my dick.
I'll fuck you, your mitochondria ass.
You got your own RNA? Why don't you fuck off? You're not even me.
Yeah, with your gold structures or whatever.
Yeah. With your protein chains and whatnot.
Your nuclei. I got your nuclei right here.
Right here.
Yeah. Your cell wall can't stop me.
Well, we can't stop the littles because the littles don't stop.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they'll drill through every cell.
That's right.
At
They're
any
like
rate,
the sperm of humans. Wait a second.
you've been dating the wrong guys, man.
We cut to Dink fixing his car, and this is when Grandpa shows up and elliptically accuses Dink of stealing the brass bed and tells him that it should be returned immediately for the culprit to get forgiveness at all.
Mm-hmm.
So then Dink goes through the sewers to go get the brass bed, but he leaves his car behind because it was going to make too much noise.
Yeah, this is when we learn they don't live at that house.
Yeah, it's like spread out all over the city. So, and as he goes through the sewers, he gets the brass bed, hooks it up to the back of Slick, his turtle buddy, who the turtle has some sizing issues.
He can't use the car for some reason. He's like, I can't use it.
It's too noisy. Yeah, he said it was too noisy.
It's too
it was
noisy.
Make
So
noise.
they have noise regulations and enforcement.
Probably. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm assuming so.
He's delivering the bed to a residential area.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
but
yeah.
so he has to go retrieve the bed, which is in the sewers, to bring it back to the house. So how did the doctor not spot it moving to the sewers? And also, the doctor seeing movement on the bed before Dinky actually starts moving the bed back to the house.
Oh,
So there's some sort
the
of
plot
weird
holes.
temporal issue here. So
Do you think he called Dinky called the twins up and he was like, "Yeah, we'll have the bed there, noon and 4 a.m. between those,
yeah, sometime between noon and 4 a.m. on a Monday or
or a Tuesday."
I like this idea that there is actually a noise ordinance in place.
Yeah,
In the sense of like, what if there is actually like a curfew?
yeah. I like the idea that they have this like highly regulated society
Yeah,
of rigid rules that allow them to continue to exist, and they
stay in hiding like this.
yeah.
Almost like maybe each house has a little's ghetto, and
Oh my.
they have to, like, everybody that's like in the military is essentially like locking down every house, and Dinky has just figured out a way to kind of sneak out here and there.
Mm.
And he has to remain quiet, otherwise he's going to get arrested and thrown into the stockade.
What if it's like Gurren Lagann, where they're like,
Even better. This is the prequel to Gurren Lagann. I think you're right.
What if it was
You're
like
absolutely
Gurren Lagann? Filthy fan service.
So Dinky's like walking through the sewers with the bed and the turtle, and this is when the doctor rolls up and is like, "Oh, there's movement going on. This is it. I'm going to find the littles. So I'm going to release my pet ferret into the sewer to quote unquote catch the littles."
Yes.
It's just when you think the show can't get any more disgusting.
He let loose his weasel. Yeah, he whipped his weasel out and put it down the sewer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the police come up to catch him, and he's like, "Not now. This is a glory hole. Soon glory will come out."
Well, we get a bit of a
What the fuck?
there's a bit of a rush to the end at this point in time. Like as
Yeah.
we're going through it. So Dink, the ferret catches up with Dinky, but actually before the ferret even gets out, the littles, the military, the civil defense force of the littles spots the doctor. So they know of the doctor. They know that he's no good. And they make a big announcement throughout the little civilization saying, the doctor is here and he's on the move, trying to find us.
He's their Satan.
Yeah, he's their Satan.
Yeah.
But he then releases the ferret, and then they announce there's a ferret loose. And, like, this is all highly organized and highly regimented. Like, this is like a proper civil defense force that's, like, on top of their shit, which is surprising to me. This is when I was like, damn, they've got, like, a whole... Who's the little president? This is going to be, like, a total civilization here.
I mean, think how fucking organized humans would be if we were actually predated. Like, if something ate us.
Yeah.
Do you know how fucking paranoid and fucked
predator.
up and, like, our societies would be these authoritarian, regimented, top-down control environments where we, like, everything was consolidated at the top and every portion of your life would be controlled.
Yeah, we have to follow the word of the Emperor because he keeps us safe.
Yeah.
His words keep us safe.
Yeah, he's keeping us safe from Nurgle, Slanesh, and Korn.
Hey, I don't read that 40K shit. Okay, I'm only up to 30K. So.
Oh, I don't. I only have a 401K.
No, I'm just going to do a search for Warhammer 401K. Go
ahead. So that's going to be our next podcast. I need to start brushing up on my...
Henry Cavill's going to star in
40K.
it.
Ooh.
He's going to star in the Warhammer 401K.
Well, he's not doing anything else right now, so he might as well.
But he's going to have a mustache and force them to actually, like...
retcon it. Yeah.
Retcon it. Yeah. Yeah, so Tom and Lucy and Grandpa find out that Dink is out. Grandpa runs to get Dink's car while Lucy and Tom go to let the Civil Defense Force know. So Grandpa drives the car, finds Dink and Slick, the tortoise, being chased after by the ferret. He slams the car into the ferret, crashes into the bed, breaks the bed apart, and then Dink, Grandpa, and Slick are all cornered by this giant ferret that looks like it's about to eat all of them, when suddenly a rope comes out of nowhere. Grandpa grabs onto it and gets lifted away while grabbing onto Dink to take him out, leaving Slick, the tiny tortoise, behind to be an aperitif for the ferret before the ferret starts chowing down on everything else it finds in the sewer. This poor turtle. This poor goddamn turtle. The turtle is literally like the size of the ferret's paw.
Yeah.
At this point. So we then cut to outside the sewer, where we see
Dr. Hunter
and his assistant getting stopped by a cop, who's asking him, what the hell are you doing out here in the middle of the night at this sewer grate? What the hell's going on? And the doctor says, good, I'm so glad you're here, officer. You'll be the first one to see what we have to reveal here. And he scoops up the tortoise and the ferret inside his net.
Yeah.
They say ferret. It's a ferret. I mean, it is a weasel. But
what's the difference, really?
I know, a ferret's a weasel. But not all weasels are ferrets.
Hey, if we have any fans out there who have ferrets and want to write in and tell us about it, don't. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I don't give a shit about your stupid goddamn weird bet.
Your stupid, goddamn, really cool, awesome pet we want to play with. It's sad we don't have ourselves.
Yeah,
Screw you.
You're all degenerates.
This is lording your ferret over all of us.
No one cares that you dyed your hair purple. Fuck off.
No.
But when he nets up the ferret and the tortoise is now half the size of the ferret. It's giant now.
Yeah.
It just grew exponentially.
Well, it's because now it's only being perceived by human eyes, and that affects its relative size, as it is the avatar of turtle.
So I like to think about this from the cop's perspective. You show up. There's a creepy old guy in a huge van pulled up to the side of the road, and he and some other creepy old guy are digging around in the sewer with a net. They say, good, we're glad you're here so you can see this. And it's a ferret and a tortoise. And then out of nowhere, a 10-year-old kid comes running up and is like, oh, great, you found my tortoise. Thank you. And my toy bed. And then the kid runs off.
Right.
It's like, honestly, what the hell is going on here?
If I was the police, I would have saw the two creepy old guys looking in the sewer in the middle of the night, and I would be like, not my department. I'm 2 days from retirement. They're not going to pull me in.
Not going to pull me into some sort of weird pseudoscience quest for some sort of creature that
doesn't
may or may not change society forever. That's somebody else's bag.
That's, we'll leave it for the younger guys. I've done my bit.
But in this particular scene, though, as soon as Henry Big runs away, the police officer also runs away. The two of them just run off together, and that was also equally weird. So
he's probably like, well, there's no law that says the dog can't play soccer.
Jesus Christ.
It's not technically illegal what you fucking weirdo pedophiles were doing.
There's technically no law about forcing a ferret and a tortoise to sleep together in a tiny brass bed while some kid watches.
Yes. There's no law against stealing useless junk and animals from a child.
This is what happens in every single artist town of artists. You're so avant-garde, you two.
Yeah. Don't think I haven't learned. You know, I'm 2 days from retirement. I've seen all your tricks.
So it turns out that Grandpa and Dink were rescued by the Civil Defense Force, and then all of them get together at Henry's room. The brass bed has been fixed, and Grandpa tells Dink that he has to polish the bed by morning, so they have it all spruced up as a gift for the twins. And then that's the end.
You forgot about the part with idiots laughing at nothing.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they do all start laughing at the end.
That's why this is the greatest show that's ever existed.
And then the stinger, very odd to me. So it seemed like Tom and Lucy Little were reading a fan letter that was giving them a suggestion on some sort of arts and crafts on how to make a little TV by like cutting some paper and like running it through like a weird sleeve of cardboard to make it look like a TV.
Yeah,
it's very bizarre to me.
Yeah, they had a little like make it educational thing.
That's probably what it was. Yep.
Yeah. This is what life was like before computers.
We had to make our own TVs.
With strips of paper that were crudely drawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it wasn't even AI art. It was all crummy human hand art.
Well, I did like that in this little stinger, Dink drew a whole slew of animated vignettes that they could then pull through that little like TV screen looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he called it was it like the Adventures of Dink?
Yeah, the Dinky Show or something.
Or the Dinky Show.
And they just
immediately Lucy shuts him down and just shits all over him.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to watch a different channel.
Yeah.
And then they all start laughing. You know, if I was Dink, I would totally get in my plane and fly to like the next house over and start living there with those littles.
Yeah. I think he would be like, I wonder why I don't have any friends my own age and I have to hang around with these prepubescent children.
Exactly.
Who mock me and belittle me. The thing that really gets me, so here's the big question. We have the idea that this was submitted by Tiffany.
Oh, yes.
Now, you're saying that there were only how many episodes? How many seasons?
29.
29.
There were 3 seasons.
Okay.
There were 29 episodes.
All right, so there is feasibly enough time that this could have been sent in for real.
Yes.
Instead of it just being a lie. Where they were like, say, I don't know, Tiffany sent it to us. Who gives a shit?
Do you think we could find Tiffany?
That would be
creepy.
I don't think maybe. I don't think we could. I think we must.
You know what we gotta do? We have to go find. We gotta go find a yellow page or a white pages, a phone book, because then we can look for
Mike,
her address.
You need to go outside and find a
1980s
a phone booth.
A phone booth.
At what age do kids start writing? Like 10, 11?
Probably.
So she's probably in her late 40s, early 50s. Oh, there's a Tiffany that resides in Washington.
Oh my God! Seriously, still?
Uh-huh.
She never got out. Oh, that's sad.
There's no age attached to it. What if we find that out? What if we find out she died as a kid? Like she was just some kid, wrote into the Littles, got it published, and then she was like the happiest she'd ever been, and passed away.
Oh my God, that sounds so morbid.
Her address is a P.O. box.
Ooh, maybe she got tired of too many people
tracking her down.
Tracking her down.
That's amazing. What if it's not really her?
Yeah, what if this is some sort of like weird underground writing team?
What if it's someone just using the name and opening a P.O. box?
Just to see if anyone writes back to her?
Just to submit scripts and to collect sweepstakes prizes. Yes. I like this. But it says what they also have in here is one phone number and email, one address, 8 family members, in 21 court appearances.
She's a criminal.
Is this Tiffany?
So, this is Tiffany.
Adam actually tracked her down.
Her obsession with TVs led her to a life of crime.
So would you?
Oh my God!
Would you let your kids watch this show?
I don't see why not. It's not weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's not
There's nothing
weird.
weird about this.
There's not
It's
weird
not weird in a
undertones.
bad way. You know, it's just weird
yeah.
in an innocuous kind of way.
Yeah, alternate creepy societies that watch you when you're asleep and engage in ritualistic incest. That's normal.
But the kids wouldn't know that. We see that.
The kids know.
The kids
The kids
don't know.
always know.
The kids don't know.
The kids are all right, I heard.
The kids are all right, but they don't know. Bo knows.
Bo knows.
Bo knows.
Bo knows kids.
Just to give you a quick rundown
no.
of the next episode, because I did watch ahead a little bit. In the next episode, it's Grandpa's birthday. The kids decide that what Grandpa needs for his birthday is a grandma.
Grass bread. Okay, a grandma.
A grandma.
Tin Man.
So they run off not hanging out with the grandpa, and when they run off to not hang out with him, the grandpa assumes it's because he's old. So he then goes to wander off into the wilderness to die.
Oh, I thought he was going to do a Dr. Kevorkian.
So he is looking for a island on a lake where people with no time left can go spend the rest of their time. and that's when Dinky
go die in a puddle.
And that's when Dinky decides to go rescue Grandpa by jumping into his plane, and he flies it out to the lake because it's also it's one of the seaplanes.
A pontoon plane.
And in the meantime, the kids wind up finding a elderly woman who's DTF, who is suddenly like all in when they're like, "Oh, we got to go save our grandpa. We're sorry we bothered you by bringing you out here. We're gonna go find him now." And she's like, "You're not going without me. You promised me a date.
Wow.
I'm gonna go get this grandpa."
They're like little adult friend finders.
I like it.
You're a pervert. I knew it. I deliberately told that joke because those ads only appear on pornography. I trapped you.
You caught me.
Now I know you look at pornogasms.
You got me.
Pornogasms.
Pornogasms.
I love them pornogasms.
Yeah, you look at those pornographers. Pornograms.
Discurs.
You're an idiot.
I like it. Well, I don't. Well, who cares what you don't like? I care.
So should we keep this show on the list?
Fuck it, no.
No. There's just there's just no way to squeeze any more blood from this stone.
I don't know. I'm gonna say keep it because I think there's a lot more here. There's a lot more aspects of the society that we can delve into, and also
how much more horse?
Why is Eric Hunter chasing down the littles? There's got to be some sort of
We are
He's
out
going to
of
be eating
horse
them,
to
sticking
beat.
them up his butt, something.
Yeah.
We've literally covered everything that could be covered in the littles, and we're at this point down to the ass end of the horse that we're done beating.
No, I understand what Adam's saying here in the same way that like this leads us to intense fan theories the same way like the moonbeam insect culture did, where we're like world building a little hellscape for these little shitbirds to live in. So I like that part, except that it seems like it's pretty set and it's like exactly like our culture.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There's going to be very little. Although, like, what if there is actually an authoritarian stint that was going to pop up because it has to have
just
that,
in the middle of season 2,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like World War
Zigales
Little.
and
World War Little.
Yep.
I was just constantly surprised by what was happening in the show.
Okay.
Like, I did not remember the extended society, the weird bad guy, this weird military force
Yeah.
that the levels had.
What do you bet that military force never shows up again?
I think it is going to show up again. I bet you that it does.
Really? I don't know. I have my doubts.
Doesn't seem like the first time they saw that ferret.
Yeah.
Oh, that? Well, no, Dinky's seen it because he calls it the monster. Like, clearly they've had run-ins with Dr. Hunter, being the main characters and him being the main villain. I assume that happens at some point.
I'm sure it does at some point in time.
Are they completely unaware of Dr. Hunter, or do they know about him?
No, like in this one, they actually named him. They said the doctor is coming. The doctor is here. That's like the first warning that the Civil Defense Force sends out.
So, like, in an ironic way, they monitor him better than he monitors them.
Let's see here.
Again, I fear for the dystopian, authoritarian society that's going to come out of these predated humans. Like, it's a hellish idea.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, because they would be hyper competent. Like, you get pretty good at hiding. Also, nothing's predated humans for very long. We tend to, kill them. So I'm just saying, like, maybe we're seeing the beginning of the end of big people society.
Maybe. It could be. I could see that. Especially if the Littles continue to grow their hypnotic fungi the way I'm assuming they are.
Right.
But, okay, the second Littles title is called Lost City of the Littles, in which Henry's parents discover a statue with a tail portraying an ancient little ruler, which also piques Dr. Hunter's interest. When Henry learns the statue will hypnotize all Littles and call them to it, he decides to steal the statue to save his friends.
Okay, yeah, it sounds good. I like it. I want to see it.
Okay, so we have 2 for and 2 against.
Oh wait, who was for?
Yeah,
Okay, I was for. Who else was for?
Me.
It must have been David.
Matt, are you for or against now?
Matt and I were against it.
What would you give me?
A crisp high five. Next time I see you. Right on your torso.
How crisp?
Right on the belly. Whack! It's pink belly. Okay. Is this a proper stalemate? Because if so, we gotta we gotta put this back in the
No,
wheel.
I'm 100% bribable. Bribe me.
We just put it down to the wait list.
No,
to the wait list.
No, I want to keep it. Adam convinced me with that episode. I want to see the one with the statue, and like I want to conjecture about their fucked up society.
Yeah, especially like getting into like ancient history associated with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to know about their dystopian plans to murder all humans
And devour them with their tiny buck teeth.
Yeah, in order to grow big enough to assume us. Maybe we are Littles, Do you ever think about that?
That's what I'm saying, is you cut the tail off a little and it becomes big.
Damn.
It's like a Super Saiyan. Super little.
It's
Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly like a Super Saiyan.
So, Adam, what changes do you want to make for your redemption?
Oh, gods. I need to actually pay attention to this. In the interest of making us a popular podcast, I'm going to buff the movie list yet again.
Ooh, you might want to wait for that, because I just switched the algorithm from arithmetic to exponential.
Oh, is that why Mike's having all his crises?
Hey, leave my existential crisis, my exponential existential crises out of this.
Yeah. The EEC.
Okay.
Yes.
So what does that mean, changing it to an exponential random index?
That's going to reduce the number of things we've watched previously.
Oh.
And it means the movie list already has a huge footprint right now.
Oh, okay. In the interest of making ourselves popular, I'm going to buff Reboot.
There you go.
Gross. Popular with David and nobody else.
Hey, winning the favor of David is the only thing that matters at this day and age. So
I know.
Day and age.
This is what our culture has come to, Mike. I was telling you.
I think your cultures,
Davidopoly.
Your cultures need to just be autoclaved.
Hey, David. What was your prediction?
Yeah, David. Yeah.
What was your prediction?
David, yeah.
I just thought someone might make a little joke.
Okay.
Worth it.
Matt, Mike, how do we vote David off the podcast?
No, worth it.
How do we vote David off his podcast?
Don't. He's the one that edits and takes out all my misogyny.
He's the one that massages out all your misogyny. He massages in all the humor.
Yes. He funny sizes it by at least 20%.
Wait a second. There's a cartoon called the Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Yeah, man.
Why haven't I watched all of that? It's 1992 to 1993.
We want cartoons 26 hours a day.
All right, so with the new algorithm.
Algorithm.
Tell me what is 2487.
Wow.
2486. We were almost at Tailspin, a popular show that would have been good for us to do. Instead, we're going to be doing Tasmania.
Oh, Tasmania.
From 1991 to 1995, 65 episodes. I'm assuming it follows Taz, the Tasmanian Devil from...
You don't remember Tasmania, man?
I think I do, actually. I think that I have some recollection.
This was right during Taz Fever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it started the Tasmanian Devil. Did
he have like a kid or something also?
It may have included the spin-off from Tiny Toons.
He had a little brother.
Little brother, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. I remember all this. He also made a video game. I remember the video game too. I think I owned the video game.
I think you did, because you could spin, and it was the same as like jumping if you were Mario, and you could kill enemies.
Yeah.
I have a distinct memory of turning into a cyclone and like coins popping out of baddies in a sprite-based world.
Jesus, they got 4 seasons of this bad boy. Nice.
Yeah, there was a lot of Tasmania. I remember not enjoying Taz.
That's unfortunate, Matt.
Why?
Because it's going to
you. Nice. You got this.
Oh, I never should show my feelings. I pay every time.
What episode are we watching here of this guy? Episode 45? Ooh, that's like really late in the run, too.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be where they gave up.
Yeah. This is either where they gay up.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that part of the show?
They either gave up or it starts getting really weird, like Dr. Quantum.
So, episode 45 of Tasmania is The Pied Piper of Tasmania / The Treasure of the Burnt Sienna.
Nice.
And the synopsis is Hotel Tasmania faces a bushrat infestation. Bushwhacker Bob drags Taz on a treasure hunt.
I can't wait.
No words to describe.
Yeah, we should probably sign out.
Mister, I can't finish unless you finish the podcast.
So, on a future episode of Futurama, Jesus Christ, on a future episode of Amazingly Terrible, we'll be watching Tasmania, episode 45, The Pied Piper of Tasmania / The Treasure of Burnt Sienna. But next time on Amazingly Terrible, we'll be watching G.I. Joe, episode 45, Excalibur. I'm actually looking forward to that one. I think that was going to be very horrible.
I think it's going to be real bad.
I think it's going to be real bad, too.
Yeah, it feels.
I love it.
It feels like late in the run nonsense.
I think it's going to be amazingly terrible.
Because Snake Eyes is going to get Excalibur, right? That's what we figured out in the synopsis.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh, I haven't watched it either. But
no, I'm saving it for. I'm saving myself for marriage with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm fearful because Derek just he was so hurt by what was it, the Street Sharks by Dino Riders. He was like cut to the core by Dino Riders, and I'm afraid I don't. Do I have enough ironic distance from G.I. Joe? Can I step from beneath the G.I. Joey shadow to not be hurt?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, can I learn to love again? You know?
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean.
You're fucking nothing. I get nothing from you.
That's how I felt about with Pride of the X-Men. I didn't know I could go on after that.
But it was good.
The Pride.
Pride was great.
Pride
and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice of the X-Men. That actually would be good. I would want to see Pride and Prejudice of the X-Men.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, was that Elizabethan or was that Victorian? Regency.
Victorian.
It was Regency. Regency era romance.
Yeah, Victorian.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta stop because my disc is almost full.
Okay.
Disc?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
This was recording this on a disc. Okay. For Amazingly Terrible, I have been disappointed. Not really. I've been little Adam.
For Amazingly Terrible, I've been Big Papa.
Ooh.
For Amazingly Terrible, I've been Medium Dave.
just right. Not too hot, not too cold.
And for Amazingly Terrible, I've been mad. Yeah.
Yes. That was just like him.
Amazingly Terrible is produced by David and Adam. Music by Josh Woodward. Send your email to monotonouslyterrific@amazinglyterrible.com.
You're listening to Amazingly Terrible, the podcast that won't stop hassling you. The podcast that won't stop hassling you to listen to it on CD. My name's Adam.
That was choppy.
Do it again.
It was choppy.
All right. I'm going to try to edit it together. So.
You know what? Your professionalism makes us look bad, so you have to suffer.
Okay. Sounds good. You're listening to Amazingly Terrible, guys. I'm Wolf Boy and the Howlers. You're listening to
Howlers in the Hose.
You're listening to Amazingly Terrible, the podcast that keeps hassling you to listen to it on CD.
And you left off in the park, Adam. Hassling to buy the CD in the park.
No, hassling you to listen to it on CD
in the park.
In the park. Here.
No, it's hassling
in the park.
It's hassling you in the park.
Hassling you in. You're listening to Amazingly Terrible, the podcast that follows you in the park, forcing you to listen to itself on CD. Well, playing an air guitar?
Demanding that you pay for the CD.
And demanding payment, yes.
Opening up their trench coat.
Wow. I don't think anybody does that anymore.
Hey, kid, want some podcast? All right, I'll piece it together from that. I'm not doing this anymore. Let's go on.